I hope that you are doing well. Okay, so everybody's in the office working. Look on the screen. Good, good, very good. But I have a question. Um, and I am being very realistic. And I asked this question, and an older person, like, really, like, oh my gosh. So the question is, realistically speaking, what good is it to have a job? What good is it to have a job when you look up, you can't even survive with the paycheck? Seriously, what good is it? And here's why I said I'm not saying that, oh, we'll just stay at home and do nothing. No, 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 no. Let's just be realistic in our thinking. Explain this to me. Please make it make sense. So, what good is it to have a job? Okay. And then you look up, you're having to like play what I call, the juggling act. It cannot support you for a place to live, a place to lay your head. It can't pay the mortgage. It can't pay the rent. It can't pay for the car note because the vehicle's being financed. It cannot pay for the high insurance, which is like it can like double out of nowhere, even with no claims. And you're like, what's going on? And of course, I'm sure we all know, if not, keep in mind when these insurance increase these rates, what they call what rate revision, I believe. When they increase these rates, you do understand they're not just doing it wholeheartedly out of the blue. No, they have to go ahead and get permission from the state to increase these rates. Oh yeah, they have to get permission from the states to do it. So pretty much it's like the squeeze is on the American people. So I'm trying to understand what good is having a job, getting up and going to this job, and you can't even really, you can't survive on it. People, you're not living, just basically existing. It's like your life is in a holding pattern. And the thing about this thing, when I say holding pattern, this is not going to be okay. I just have to, maybe get through the next 6 to 8 months. Oh no, 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 no. It's not even that. It's not that. This is becoming a lifestyle. Then I can see, hey, I got to kind of get through these next 3 or 4, 6 months. Okay, can totally get that, and it's going to get better. No, this seems to be the lifestyle. People employed, but for what? We're having a conversation. I'm like, so what do you do? Once if you can afford to pay the mortgage and your rent, okay, so what do you do? Pay a car note this month, and then next month pay the insurance, and then the next month, what's going on? Are we skipping car notes? One month pay the car note, then the next month going to be the insurance. Uh, and then the next month is a car note, but then the insurance is going to double up and they get canceled. And then all of it takes out of nowhere. I don't care if you are the diligent, hard working, they can always count on you, worker bee, you can get laid off. And then when you get laid off, guess what? Everything crumbles. You get laid. Did you see what happened in Wall Street yesterday? Gee, the numbers of the jobs coming out. Let's try it again. Some people, post pandemic, they will never call back to their jobs. Never call back to those jobs. And it's been layoff, layoff. It's again more job elimination, but where's the job creation? Not finding it. What good is it to go to these jobs? Again, just something to think about. And you can't even live off of it. So hard work, yeah. Have you not seen the foreclosure rates? People are losing their vehicles, they're losing their cars, they're losing their homes. Where's the income replacement? Nowhere to be found. Some people who surprise themselves on, people on government assistance, the sad thing is, you got to stop and think. With the number of foreclosures going on and there's no job creation, hate to tell you, newsflash, it's going to be a lot more people applying for the government assistance. Good luck. These companies lay off at the drop of a hat. And if Americans are already having to play the juggling act, once the job is over, you can pretty much guess what's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. It is just a matter of time. Again, it's like the friend of mine I said before. Hey, buy this little place. Oh, it's not fancy. It's not fancy at all. Little bungalow at a good price. You got extra money. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, really? I'm thinking like the long game. You can have a property that is very nice and very high end, and you can also have a little bungalow. You can even have a manufactured home. I saw a lady and I was like, word, I don't know. I just wondered about the safety feature because it was kind of out there, you know? Might want to get a pet, get a dog. She had moved into a trailer. Only thing I said I didn't like, I was like looking at this location, like, is it safe? And she did her YouTube video. It's on some land, and she fixed it up. Again, have a dog and be strapped, because it was like to me way out there. But I thought about it. Well, it got to the point she lost her place, and when you get evicted, you good luck. No one's going to lease to you. She was still working, had income. And I thought about it. It was either, and this place looked like, to me, looked like a humdinger. I mean, it was like, wow. You know how you buy a place and it's like you can't even spend the night. The first night, I was like, wow, this was a real humdinger. You know what I mean? But what she did, she bought it. I guess it was real cheap, kind of far out. Um, you know, you got Wi-Fi, go at it. But I get it. It made sense. It beats living in the car, and she has somewhere to drive to the call home. And you working to and have income. It was basically, to be honest, it was a giveaway. It really was, because it was so dilapidated. But obviously, I she's smart. She was able to do some of the work herself, and pay some guys to get some of it done. I guess like plumbing, what have you. But it was like, wow, with the sheetrocking and things, because the ceilings are very low, and she was able to like fix it up, and it's like, wow, she made herself a home. And you think about it, it's either that or be homeless. And if you're still working, who the heck gonna sit up here paying $2,000 for a one-bedroom apartment? Are you crazy? And I thought about it. Old girls playing the long game. Again, I would just make sure, you have your protection. Love you some Smith and Wesson. And, if you want to have an animal, that'll be great. Now it wasn't like she was in the woods, because there were other people. It just looked kind of like on the drive, kind of like sparse. You know what I mean? So you can blast your music and not worry about the neighbors. But yeah, and I thought about it. The money she was paying in rent, if she can save 1,000 a month, that's 12 G's a year. If you can just do it for 3 or 4 years, you got just some money saved up. What's the use? This is how fragile it is here in this country to survive, and pretty much all around. But explain to me, I'm just trying to understand. We're promoting, I hear older people saying, oh, and these people got to work hard. Yeah, and you had a GI Bill, and you had all kind of stuff to help you out. So miskin with it. This is an entirely different platform that we are dealing with to navigate life here. What is the use to go to these jobs and you're giving it your all? Because I'm sorry to say, it's like there's no way out. When is the come up? We're not looking at some temporary situation. Okay, so go ahead and get through the next couple of months, and then you may get a raise, you may get a promotion. No, the next couple of months, because see, here's the danger of the hamster wheel. The next couple of months, if you're already working and working and it's not paying a livable wage, here is the hamster wheel. And then after you do that for like so long, out of nowhere, they can lay you off. Out of nowhere, that job can end, they can lay you off. So if you're already scuffling, trying to make it thin and juggling, and that's what people are like, it's like the juggling act. If you're doing that, so what happens when the job ends? What happens then? And again, I'm not saying for everyone to stay home, but I'm just because we can't do that. But I'm trying to understand, make it make sense to me for those people who always, oh, the silver lining. The silver lining sometimes is imaginary. If they're, again, 1.1 million people already lost their jobs. Jobs report, then first Trump was like he held it off, then the job reports came out. I saw QQQ literally within hours. I saw QQQ yesterday go from 613, go back to the screen, it went to 589. Gee, maybe that's why those politicians were investing in those ETFs that operate like puts. I better go check mine. They know what's going on. I mean, and the handwriting is on the wall. But all this, if you work hard, you work hard and still might end up foreclosed on and trying not to starve. And there are no answers. We are living and trying to navigate a totally new situation. So when I heard people about this work hard, people work hard every day and living in a car, can't afford a rent. Again, a friend of mine, I'm like, hey, get that little place. Nah, not now. Yeah, I kind of wish I had got it. Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you at the time. May not be bad to have a backup. Not bad to have a backup. Not bad to have a backup at all. And in the city too. It's not like old girl that was out, like I said, in a rural area. But I thought about it. That right there, man. If you got a partner, somebody, or I think she's by herself. I get it. You have a key somewhere to close. So you have a place to lay your head. So people are on their grind all the time for these companies, and then you look up. Can you look what's going on with some people? And then you look up. The one lady, she says she has applied for 3,000 jobs to no avail. Because, like I said, I understand trying to get through a rough patch, but what if the only patch that's available is a rough patch? What if that's the only patch that is available is a rough patch? This isn't like temporary. And then, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get another job and get, huh? That's not the deal. What we're about to see in this country, a mental health crisis awaits. Watch. A mental health crisis. So explain it to me. What's the plan? I'm just trying to find a way out for the American people. I don't see it. I'm being realistic. I don't try to kid myself on, well, and they don't care about us. Everybody, you're on your own. What is the plan? So what's the use of, getting the grind on? Like I said, I'm not saying that everybody just not to work, but you look at the fragility of life in the country. What's the darn use when you see people are crashing? It's a tunnel, and a tunnel full of darkness. There is no light at the end of that tunnel with the way things are going. And this is all part of the plan. Like I said before, wasn't the biggest fan of Kevin Leary, but when I saw that he was pushing for small business, and you have to think, not just you think, oh, this administration, the Biden administration. Again, I don't care red or blue is in charge. There are certain people that run this country, and I knew then if Americans, and it's part, I guess, with AI, if Americans, the biggest employer is a small business owner, and yet and still people need jobs, all these layoffs. And if you notice, the small business owners, they're not getting the help, but the big corporations are. How much did Intel get? How much Intel, how much did you get? Man, they got like a crazy amount. Was it tens of millions of dollars, I believe? And oh my, it didn't work out. That's my understanding. It didn't work out. Any new information? Which not bad. I traded 19 and went to 24. Who knows? It might be down, or who knows? Haven't checked that. But think about it. I know then they're not so small businesses are the biggest employers of American people, but they're not investing in them. and the corporations are getting all the money and they're laying off, you have to already know then. This right here is where we have a society that's breaking down, and it's by design. So all this right here, a lot of people, it's been working for them. Guess what? And it's not. Again, this administration, anybody can get it. I knew that. I'm like, wow, here's the trajectory. The biggest employee of the American people is small business, and yet and still, more of those are shutting down, yet and still there's no funding. The corporations are getting all this money. What do you think about that? Yeah, that's welfare. And see, I think that, hey, anybody getting this good because pretty soon they're not going to need it. Why? AI. AI. The corporations will pretty much, I think, own the country. AI. Look at all, again, look at the upheaval of life. What about those taxes, tax dollars? What are we going to be at the mercy of corporations? Because people are not working, it's going to be a crumbling effect. Talking about recession, I think we've been there. In my opinion, we were in a recession. The last administration just carried over because the numbers are getting higher. Again, 1.1 million people already lost their jobs. What is the probability that they've been able to find employment that can pay the bills? And you wonder why people give up. Anyway, let me know what's the game plan here? People are just trying to scuffle to get by. Okay, but for how long? Scuffling cannot be a way of life, and I guess it is. Not temporary, no. This is the norm. So unless you're rich, we're gonna be in some tough ish. Anyway, let me know what you all thinking. I'm just going to just kind of put it out there for everyone that's positive, wishing us all, whether you agree with me or disagree, that's fine. I'm a big girl. I mean, it makes life more interesting. Again, I look forward to your comments. But I'm just wishing us all health, wealth, anything positive, everything else. Just health, wealth, mental, mentally. We've got to you got to keep it together because you're going to see a shift in people when people start to lose everything. I am telling you, it will affect them mentally. I am really concerned in this country. We are going to see a major, major, major increase, a decrease in mental health. People getting depressed. You just can't make it. Just can't survive. Anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out.